And here are the other rules. We touched upon them lightly in the previous video, but here they are explained in more detail. Though they may not be as important as the rules we discussed in the previous video, the important rules, these rules when followed, will make your documentation look elegant, easier to read and understand. Make sure you take your notes for this video too. Begin instructions with a verb or an action word, such as click, open, close, slide, etc. Examples of instruction statements that begin with an action word are click Submit, double-click the program icon on the desktop, enter the first name of the employee in the first name box, and so on. Keep sentences short and simple. Whether they are instructions or results of instructions, notes and caution statements or descriptions, avoid long sentences. Long sentences are dull and boring, and they make things sound complex and difficult to understand. If you have long sentences, try and split them into 2 or more smaller sentences. Here's an example of such a long statement. Click Manage Employee from the menu, and then click Create Employee from the submenu, and fill in the fields of the employee form that opens in a new window. This sentence can be simplified as follows. Statement number 1. Click Manage Employee from the menu. A submenu opens. Statement number 2. Click Create Employee. A new window opens displaying fields. Statement number 3. Fill the fields. Similarly, try to break topics into smaller ones if they are too long. Number your instruction statements and limit the number of steps to 10 or 12 steps. Number your instruction statements starting with 1 and proceed sequentially. Don't number non-instructional steps, such as those used to explain the results of an action or instruction. As a general rule, do not exceed 12 steps. If your instruction ends with 13 or 14 steps, then that's okay. But suppose you have 18 steps or more, then divide the topic into sections. Here is an example. While creating an employee's record for a company database, there is a lot of information being collected. The form has fields for the employee's first name, middle name, last name, marital status, age, address, which may run into 2 or 3 fields, and then zip and designation. And depending on the number of dependents, there could be fields for the employee's spouse, children, etc. In all, there could be as many as 20 or more fields, and a topic with 20 or more instruction statements, not to forget the text. The lines for results of these instructions and images will look imposing and will be tiring and challenging for the user. Instead of creating one long topic, you could make sections of this one long employee form and club-related fields into these sections. So, we could have an employee section for fields related to the employee and have another section called Dependents section containing instructions on how to fill fields for the dependents. To avoid numbering above 12, we also restart the numbering of the steps in the second section. This kind of splitting a long topic into smaller sections is easy on the eye for the user. Sometimes using sublevels also help in making the topic look elegant and easy on the eye, and they also prevent instructions from exceeding 12 steps. In the example, notice how similar fields have been grouped as a sublevel, and these in turn have been numbered using a different numbering style. In our case, the first sublevel uses lowercase alphabets, A, B, C, and so on. Also notice how in our example we have restricted the number to 13 steps, and if you have a second sublevel, that is, a level inside the first one, then use lowercase Roman numerals and so on. Avoid using 1.1, 1.2.3, etc. It is recommended that you maintain just one sublevel. In any case, do not exceed more than 2 sublevels. Of the 2 solutions, we recommend the splitting of the long set of instructions into sections more than using sublevels. Technical writers sometimes use a combination of both these techniques to convert a long topic into a readable one. Have a positive tone and wherever possible, replace a negative statement with a positive one, particularly in notes and cautions. For example, in a caution, instead of a statement such as, Be extremely careful while using the delete function. Inappropriate use will only jeopardize your system and make it inoperable. Sounds a bit too harsh. Use the following instead. It achieves the same objective in a more positive, yet less frightening manner. Use the delete function with care. Delete removes all data from the system. The process is also irreversible. Begin a topic or chapter name with a gerund, that is, words ending in ing and using plural items wherever possible. Examples are creating users, instead of creating a user, or how to create a user. Within the creating users topic, you could title your content to create a user, that is, use the singular expression. However, not all topic names can begin with a gerund, that is, words ending in ing, examples, creating, deleting, modifying, etc. Exceptions are introduction, welcome, how to sign in, and so on. Avoid using him, her, and particularly the use of him/her. Avoid sexist terms and replace them with convenient alternatives, and so replace layman with layperson, salesman, or salesgirl with salesperson, and so on. Avoid trying to be funny. Absolutely no jokes are allowed in user manuals. Being overly friendly or polite is also to be avoided. That is, using words such as please, thank you, sorry, etc., and avoid the marketing pitch or the sales pitch in your content. So, are there any more rules? There are a few more. And for better understanding, we haven't included them in these 2 videos. We'll look into them as we move on. Next, let's look at some of the most common errors in technical writing grammar before we take up writing our first topic using the rules that we have just learned.